We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Thank you. I've lost reality, haven't gotten the grip yet.
Yo, welcome to another exciting episode of Blerds, the Word Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mike D.
Who the fuck I am?
Yeah, it's just looking like, bitch.
Here in the studio live with fellow co-host Jeff, a.k.a. J Supreme.
My name is my name.
What's good, people?
Also joining us remote all the way from Denver, Colorado, Lindsay Ali.
I'm Batman.
That's right, don't let the mountains fool you, bitch. Trees are closer than they appear.
All right. We got quite a few friends in the studio with us today. We're going to kick it off with a voice you heard last time. We call them Landers, but you can call them Circa 85.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
Yo. Franklin. All right. Another voice you heard on the show last week, back in the studio with us again. We call him Sale, but you can call him Captain Kirk.
Gene.
Why everybody got to laugh on my intro? Come on. How y'all doing? How everybody doing?
All right. Now, here in the studio with us today, you've heard his voice on the intro tracks to our podcast, but joining us live in the studio is Alex, also known as the artist Tobias Black.
Yo, Black Marius up in here. Y'all know the name.
All right.
Let's go.
All right. We got quite a lot of interesting and exciting topics to talk about today. Lindsay, why don't you give the listeners an idea of what they can expect to hear?
All right. Well, on today's docket, we'll be starting with Candyman trailer reactions while we watch it live here in the studio. Not on YouTube. We got a DVD from the Bootleg Man. We got the direct source and hookup. After that, going into the scariest films of our childhood, or why I'm still terrified of Oompa Loompas. We'll be talking about Batsuit reactions from Matt Reeves' upcoming film, The White Panther, with Robert Pattinson. We will do a review of The Photograph, produced by Kodak Black and Yellow, and a possible prequel, The Mimeograph, starring the ghosts of Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee, produced by Norman Lear. Let's see, we got current dope show recommendations from the Blerds, or what you should be watching instead of The Office or Love is Blind. And we'll be talking about whether or not you should categorize hip-hop, our efforts on outlawing mumble rap, our official endorsement of Tom Steyer for president, who just dropped out the race. Let's see. And comic book topics, potential mergers of our childhood favorites in the news recently, these rumors between DC and Marvel. Let's see what happens when Reese's meets Pieces. Finally, the video games, we'll be going over our reactions to the new Resident Evil 3 trailer, as well as PlayStation 5 versus the clearly superior Xbox Series X. Coming up here on today's show.
Boo. You just got fired from introducing everything.
I couldn't stick the landing on that one.
You're doing so well.
Yes. Popular opinions today, folks.
Well, listen, if you're listening to the show, please stick around. If you can, fast forward to the end before you finish, because we got an exciting contest coming up today. We're going to reward our listeners with a piece of artwork signed by somebody from your childhood, one of the biggest names ever. We got some signed artwork that you're going to want to get your hands on, so make sure you stay with us till the end. But right now in the studio for the first time, Alex, anytime we have somebody new on the show, we always start with a question, bro, just asking, what type of blurred would you consider yourself? There are a whole lot of blurs out there, but how would you describe your blurred for the fans?
Man, I was like a cool blurred, you know what I'm saying? Nah, but I could consider myself an all-around blurred. Back then, well, still now. I read a lot of comics. I watched all the cartoons, all the 90s and 80s cartoons at an early age. As far as like school and stuff, I wasn't really teased about it because shout out to my block, Dogwood. We used to always run the school and everything, so they always had my back if anything came up. When I first found out I was a blurred, was my mom. She used to cater, and foster my inner nerd. So every Christmas she used to come, take out all our toys, like I was in the Ninja Turtles, right?
Of course.
She would take the toys out the packages and she would put them like all on the tables and the counters and stuff, like mimicking the scene. So she knew like the Turtles fought Shredder, the Turtles fought the Foot Clan. So when me and my brother come down to see our toys for Christmas, we were like, oh, it's all set up on the table. We would be hyped about it. Like even with the Power Rangers, she would have all the Zords all built up and everything. So when we come down, like everything is just looking like we in a toy store. Wow. So from that day forward, you know, I knew I was a Blerd because I would set up my toys to look like a certain way and just marvel at it. Like I ain't even want to touch it or play with it like normal kids did.
Man, that's dope. Shout out to moms, yo. Shout out to moms.
I got a question though, real quick.
Yeah.
What do you mean by you and your boy used to run to school? Like you was out there putting in paint? Like what's
You saw me cut my eyes at you.
My homies on the block, man, Dogwood, you know, it was a whole bunch of us on the block, you know what I'm saying? So we all went to school together. It was about 20 of us, you know, so we all went to the same school, so we all had our back, and like the schools knew who we were. So it was.
This man was
So
in
y'all
a
was
gang.
gang banging? Like Blerd?
We
Blerd gang banging? You don't like Goku?
I was the main Blerd. I was the main Blerd of the group, of the block. You know what I'm saying. The rest of them was, you know what I'm saying. They was too cool. They was too cool to be getting into comics and anime and stuff. I was the main one. Okay. So if anybody like kind of teased me or nothing or anything, you know what I'm saying, they had my
protection.
back. I had protection. Right. So.
That's what's up, man.
The Blerd gang.
Yo, well, we glad you here.
Gang.
We glad you here with us, Alex. Thanks a lot for being here. All right, so let's jump in. We got a lot of topics that we got to get covered today. The most hot topic of the day, though, that we got to talk about is this new Candyman trailer, y'all. It just dropped this week. Before we go into live reactions of the trailer, though, I got to ask for y'all, especially because we here are all from Chicago, how significant do you all remember the original film being back in 92?
Actually, I just watched it the other day. So
it's fresh.
It's fresh
for
on
the
my mind.
first time, boy.
No. This like I don't know how many times I watched it back in the day, but I just rewatched it just to watch it, and I have to say this movie still holds up fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like it brought all the chills back. Like I was literally up in there scared watching this movie. The acting and everything, even the blood, the special effects, everything still looked gory, still looked nasty. You know what I'm saying? So just the fear of that I had back in the child. It all came back, man. I'm looking over my shoulder when I'm watching this movie. I start cutting the lights back on. I'm like, hold on, man. And then still to this day, you know what I'm saying, I have never tested the gangster of saying Candyman. Like I still won't say it. You know what I'm saying? Like even they had the little Twitter thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even hashtag Candyman on the Twitter thing. You know what I'm saying? So nah.
How the rest of y'all feel about it back in 92?
I mean, when I was coming up watching it, it was advertised as if it was like a real thing.
Yeah,
so like
for sure.
when I saw the movie and all that stuff, it was like, man, this really could happen to me. You know what I mean? But I did the Candyman joint in the mirror. I mean, it was based in our town, so it had a little bit more significance, I guess, to us. But yeah, I haven't watched it in a grip. It's been a very long time. So
Pause.
Yep.
I didn't see Candyman until I was 13 years old because I was afraid of horror movies until like the age of 10. So I had to go back and watch it later in life. It wasn't as scary to me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out why people on Facebook and Twitter and stuff are saying, I ain't saying the names of movie people. It ain't real. I mean, it's not real.
I think if you had seen it earlier, though, you might feel a little bit different.
No, it's a movie.
I mean, yeah, but if you're a kid, you being dared to go into bed after you've seen the movie, you being dared to go into the 10-year-old, you could separate movie from real life. Oh, okay.
That's why I waited so long. The 7-year-old, I was 7 and 9 years old. I wasn't going to watch it then. Okay. They doing too much.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Hey,
you seen it, Jeff?
Hey, we gonna record Landis doing it after this
it?
podcast.
Record it. Write it down. Take a picture.
Shit.
He ain't playing with that shit, is he?
No.
He said it.
Man, his 13-year-old self mad at the motherfucker. That motherfucker 13-year-old self get it together.
Right? Jeff, how did you feel about it back then?
Well, I mean, considering I was, young, so I don't know how important it was. But I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah.
I do remember being scared, but not necessarily scared, but like not trying to, test it, go in the mirror, turn off the lights.
Right.
But of course, curiosity as a child, you're gonna do it anyway.
No doubt.
So I don't necessarily believe people that be like, I never done it before. So Alex, I'm calling you out, man. I know your ass and did it before. You never,
Bro, never.
Ever.
I was scared of Candyman, bro.
wow. I had to test it out. Even
I
as
did
a
too.
kid,
I
like I
did.
tested it out. So
What's crazy is when I was a kid, before the movie came out, there was another name you couldn't say in the mirror. It was Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary,
And I remember,
yeah, I remember that.
And I remember like around the time Candyman came out, that was the newest dare. It went from Bloody Mary to Candyman. And after seeing that movie, I remember being a kid like, fuck that. I'm not even messing with that, man. That shit scared the hell out of me. Lindsay, you got to weigh in on it?
So I would say I represent a slightly underrepresented position in this debate in that I actually still have not seen Candyman. It's on Netflix.
Fuck
I know
outta
that.
here. God
Right,
damn.
right. But if I will say, like, let's dive a little deeper. So that's to say, I've seen like the beginning of Candyman a long time ago, and I know enough of what it's about, just in terms of there not being other horror film characters based on what is essentially slave trauma. This person was set upon by a white lynch mob. They poured honey on his skin, had him attacked by bees. Then he becomes a vengeful spirit character who kills people with bees and a hook hand. So I think it's a film that, at least from the surface, is very unique in terms of the inspiration of his killer. It's not somebody like Michael Myers who just snapped one day and decided to stab his sister because she was getting some dick. It's not a traditional film in any means, but I know it's on Netflix, and I know that I can watch it at any time. And now I have to because the sequel's coming out.
doubt.
I guess the question is, why is Candyman in the projects if he was a slave from the South killed by white people? Why is he taking his vengeance out on black folks?
So,
I get it.
allegedly
Okay,
because his
I get it.
ashes were scattered.
I get it. He
where
was after
Cabrini
the
Green
descendant
is.
of the lady he was killed with, Helen. I get that, but
No. Lindsay was just saying something about his ashes. What was that?
His ashes were allegedly scattered at the site of what is now Cabrini Green within the lore of the movie.
Right.
Okay. All right, interesting. I mean, I'll just say this. I always thought that, the actor Tony Todd, main guy who played it, I always thought it was unfair that when you talk about top horror, we always see the white man in that industry, Freddy Krueger, Mike Myers, Jason, like all of those names, and they're remembered and they've gotten a dozen or so reboots, right? I was just excited to see this character come back because of how significant it was at the time to just see a black male lead in a horror film like that, so the fact that they even picked it up and decided to do the project, I thought was dope, which leads us into the trailer. Let's go ahead and click it live. We're going to watch it here on the podcast, then give you our live reactions. So, gotta ask, how y'all feel about that trailer?
Man, I'm hyped about it, man. I think I was just thinking about it after I watched the movie, man. Do y'all think what's the boy name, the lead actor? What's his name?
I don't know.
Well, whatever his name, my bad. Whatever his name is, I think he I think he may be the baby that Candyman took in the first one, because that was the mother, right? The one that was clapping, saying don't say his name. So I'm thinking that may be him. And that's how he may become quote unquote Candyman. You know what I'm saying?
No shit.
in the trailer he got stung by a bee, so I thought this had happened. They gave so much away in the trailer. I'm just saying, he got stung on the hand. They gave so much away
Spider-Man
in the trailer.
now?
Yeah, right. They gave so much away in the trailer. It's just they showed the whole movie.
You think so?
Absolutely. They gave a lot away.
I think it's a lot of questions to it. Jordan Peele, he's complex, man.
He is.
And I think that's why. Because I be seeing some people like, man, I don't know, Jordan Peele make this movie. I don't know if it's gonna be good because the movie Us, it left a bad taste.
But let me just say this. He did not direct. It's very important to realize, because this has been going around online. He is not directing this film. It's actually a newer filmmaker named Nia DaCosta who's the director. Now he produced it. And you see his elements in there, but I think having a different director might make a difference on this film, and I would like to see what she does with it. I'll say this too. I thought that the trailer was dope in terms of how It didn't reveal everything to you, but I thought that the imagery, like seeing him back killing, like seeing the conflicted like images with whether or not it's gonna be him or Tony Todd, that's the guy like carrying a hook. It brought a lot of questions. You don't really know which way they're gonna go with that. And I gotta just say really quick, like the way they do these trailers and bring back these songs and make them creepy is
Jordan Peele, yeah,
like remember
he did five on it.
Yeah, that's clever.
Now he took "Say My Fucking Name" and made that like.
Like remember we met Tony Todd at Comic-Con like 6 years ago.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, he was really nice. Talked to us and
Shout out to him, man. He was
really
a great
tall
guy, very personable. I mean, that's why I'm just really glad to see that he's brought back in this role. Like we don't know how deep he's gonna be in it, but just seeing him reprise it, I think it's gonna be great.
What you think, Sal?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Trailer. I think. I mean, I'm like,
Okay.
it was cool. I'm gonna see what the second trailer look like if they do a second one. But I think the mystery of it is kind of like I am waiting to see what the reveal is. But yeah, it was a cool trailer.
I thought it was dope. The teaser that they dropped earlier before this, it looked like a Netflix movie. So I was like, I hope you said that. I was like, I hope it don't look
The
like
teaser?
this. Yeah, I'm like, it's gonna look trash. But then they dropped the whole trailer. I was like, all right, okay.
And it's also good to see Tiana Pierce back on the screen because I ain't really seen it since she was in the movie The Photograph, but I think before that I saw her in Chirac.
Yeah.
She had the lead role in that, so it's good to see her back. You know,
Yeah, that's true.
doing her thing.
That's true. Let me ask Lindsay, reaction to the trailer?
I thought the trailer was incredible. I thought just in terms of updating something that usually when I see a name from a 90s film, they're going to reboot or expand this. It could be, good or it could be terrible. So I think the trailer updated the mythos and brought the character back in a realistic way. So now we just got to see what the execution is going to be like. I hope that the next song that Jordan Peele remixes for a trailer is like "Stomp" by Kirk Franklin. The movie's just about a killer who steps on people. People say stomp.
Just to add in, he did get Clive Barker's, the original creator of Candyman and the writer of the short story of Candy. He got his blessing. So I guess Clive Barker did see the script for the new movie.
Okay.
And he liked it. And I guess they're going to scrap the last two, like Farewell to the Flesh and the other one that came out. They're going to scrap that whole.
Yeah, they're
I'm
calling
really
this.
sold.
They're calling this they're calling this a
last.
spiritual sequel online. So
Spiritual sequel.
I don't mind that because I mean,
So it's a
no
sequel.
disrespect.
It's not,
To the
it's
first
not a
one.
remake.
Yeah,
To the
it's
first
a sequel
one.
to the
Sequel
first
to the
one.
first one.
And if you ever saw the
So
2 and 3,
why isn't it like Candyman Part 2?
Right.
They had that already. That's why they scrapped
Right.
them other two movies.
So it's just
2
Candyman.
and 3.
So-
Yeah, they scrapped those.
So I don't know if you guys have heard. The rumor is kind of keeping with what Landers was talking about earlier when the bee stung him in the trailer. The rumor is they're already setting up for a cinematic universe, and that in Candyman 2, he's actually going to be played by Tobey Maguire. He gets stung by it, so we'll see. It's going to be awesome. He's going to do jazz dancing. It's going to be
Getting them
fantastic.
powers.
all right. Well, let's talk about it. Let's switch gears for a second because we got one of our Blurred fans, Quentin, aka QA, aka Quentin, aka Arthur's Court from Facebook, said a good topic to discuss would be the rising diversity of black-led and focused horror films. So let's dig into that. Do you all feel like this rise in black-led and focused films is a passing trend, or you think it's here to stay in Hollywood?
I mean, if you compare it to any trend in Hollywood, as long as it's making money and it's quality, it's gonna stay relevant, right?
Facts.
But you think about like Medea, that was hot when it first came out. Y'all laughing, but for real, like everybody would go to the movies to see it just because it had like a name on it, right?
Yeah.
But with this, it's dependent upon the quality. The consistency of the quality, just like the first Candyman, the next two I can't even remember the storyline of. I remember how I felt when I watched the first one. So Peele made horror relevant for black folks because he tied it to us like culturally.
Yeah.
So it had like subliminal messages in there. You watch a 30-minute video of all the subliminal messages that he put in his movie.
Yeah.
And I think with the Candyman trailer, one of y'all made the point. It seems relevant in the sense of like it's a lot of imagery that's telling the story more so than just the
They
horror.
look like they're gonna deal with gentrification too, so
Yeah.
that might be a
Right.
kind of subplot.
They have to because
they have
Brady
to.
ain't around.
They
no
have
more.
to, right?
Yeah. So
Man.
as long as the quality's up and stays consistent, I mean everybody will be up for seeing a good movie. It's just if it gets like hip hop. if it gets a little blurry over time, we're gonna stop watching. For sure.
And Sal mentioned Tyler Perry. It's funny because he did 2 Madea scary movies. Because the first one made so much money, he made a sequel to the first. Yeah, what is it called?
The Halloween.
Boo?
Yeah.
He made another one after the first one came out.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
it's 2 of them. Yeah. So there's definitely audience for that.
Okay. All right, we're gonna see. I hope more of these films come out because every time one of these trailers drops, I mean, it's exciting to see that, right?
Yeah, I just hope because right now it just seems like Jordan Peele is the standard.
The guy.
Yeah.
Is the guy. So hopefully he can open the door for other people.
Right. That's why I was excited when there was a new director announced on this. You know, hopefully we get more of those. You know, in the category, you see Chris Rock already.
Oh, yeah.
jumping
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
I saw it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's gonna be interesting because I never
Yeah.
thought of Chris Rock to be like.
Shit, nobody did.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Is it gonna become like a fad over time? Like that thing with a lot of people hopping on because there's money to be made, but the quality goes down. That's why I brought up the Madea thing because I watched the movies. You know what I'm saying? But they got worse and worse over time. And with this, for real, with this,
Lindsay,
you think about Peele, like his first 2 movies. The first one was amazing. The second one was good, but he gonna have to create, consistency on his end too.
Yeah.
I mean, but Peele, he doing the Twilight Zone, right?
Yeah.
Well, he did already, the Twilight Zone. I don't know if it's going to get a second season, but the first season is already out on CBS.
Who saw it?
I saw a few episodes.
I saw a few
It was
episodes.
disappointed. I saw a really good episode.
Y'all was disappointed?
You look disappointed. When
I
you-
liked it. I just I know who's getting ready to speak on their hatred for it. And so I'm
We're
preparing
pretty good.
myself for it. Thank you. I thought so too. But go ahead, Lindsay. What do you think of Twilight Zone?
Why bring me in on the rise of film in Hollywood? On the Twilight, I don't think it's an awful show. I just think that it's not as good as I wanted it to be. Which, of course, yes, I'm a huge fan of the Twilight Zone. I had really high standards. I just felt like I could speak on it honestly when it was mediocre. Like that final episode, The Blurry Man wasn't that great. Like, there were some good episodes like the replay, but then there were some like just absolutely questionable where the fuck is this going episodes. There's this episode, A Traveler, where like the dude ends up being, I'm an alien, I'm here for a mysterious reason, and the reason ends up being like, I'm gonna take a photograph with you guys in this police department. Is it because that means that the aliens now get to come back because they've been invited? No one knows. The way the story was resolved.
That episode was meant to be ambiguous. I think it was a rip from a episode from the black and white one. I've seen that episode before.
Yeah, a lot of the episodes tied back to original, and that's what I liked about it. So we're gonna spend a lot of time on it, but I will say what I liked about it is if you watch every episode of Jordan Peele's, there was always a callback to an original episode. Like it might have been in the background, but there was always something that they did as a nod. In the final episode, especially, I won't spoil it, but the final episode was a clear throwback to the original. And I just like that. I like the callbacks. I thought the stories were great and original, but it's hard to top the original series. Like that is timeless. So you mess with something that you already know. I mean, there's a Twilight Zone marathon every year. It's a timeless classic, product. But I liked what Jordan Peele did with the reboot. All right, while we're on the subject of horror, though, let's go around and talk about something really quick. What do you remember being your top 3 scariest horror movies of your childhood?
I kick it off.
Okay.
You got it.
I'm ready. Nah. My first one was Camera's Closet.
Never saw it.
Never seen that.
Camera's closet. Did he come out the closet?
Oh man, it was a demon in the closet. You know what I'm saying? So it was like little kid. He had his room, and it was a demon in his closet. Nobody was believing him and stuff. And the reason why this was so significant to me, when I used to go over my cousin's house, they used to lock me in the room and press play on the movie on the parts when the demons, because he had like this beady red eyes, and the closet was dark, and the door would open, And just imagine you seeing that as a kid, like you 8 years old, just looking in your closet, you see some beady red eyes in your closet. Like, man, you used to scare the shit out of me, man. It messed up my mind with closets, man. Like, to this day, I got to have my closet closed.
To this day.
To this day.
To this day.
And then my second one, of course, is Candyman. Candyman is so close to home, man.
Top 3. Okay.
It's so close to home. I was actually scared of Candyman. Like when my homies was testing it, trying to test it out, I would just go home. Like, man, y'all tripping. And then my last one will be Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Top Adventure.
Man. Large Marge said
Hey,
Right.
Large Marge scared the crap out of me.
I ain't gonna lie.
it was the ass popped out, the claymation.
That's funny as hell.
That shit was scary as a kid, though.
Hey, man. All right, good list, Alex.
So, what you got?
He came with.
Some
I
good
remember
ones.
your first one. Yeah, I had Candyman on mine. I had Pet Cemetery.
Ooh,
Some classics.
that's what I got.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery was scary to me, and I got a special one on here. It was a terrible movie. I don't necessarily. It was scary for me at the time, but it was Jason Goes to Hell. But I'm gonna tell you why. 'Cause
It was like 92.
Look, bro, that same night I got stabbed in my ankle by my sister trying to scare me with like a knife. She should have did it with a fake knife, right?
Yeah. Oh, gee. Okay.
Nah, man.
She pulled a
But
real
she
knife on
came-
your
bro. But she came in. Me and my cousin was sleeping. You heard the ch. She was doing that. And, we getting scared. We kids. And she just started stabbing the cover. I was supposed to roll right, but I rolled left. And the cover she stabbed caught my ankle.
Damn.
Yeah, so Jason Goes to Hell has some significant meanings. I don't never want to get stabbed again. So I'm scared of that.
Hell no.
Okay.
Shit. All right,
Stitches, baby.
Stitches.
All right, so Jeff.
Oh, well, 3. I had Pet Cemetery. 2, Sleepwalkers.
Is that the cat people?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That shit freaked me out.
That
man.
was good. That was classic.
And then the number one movie that scared me the most. It takes a lot to scare me, but this movie like freaked me out. The Poltergeist.
That was on my list.
You said that.
Yeah,
was on my list.
Caroline. Oh my god,
That woman's
damn
voice.
in the TV.
Ooh.
That's yeah.
Hold on,
I thought that shit was real.
I was interested to hear yours. I know you always say, like you just said, the scary movie, horror movies
Yeah,
don't do nothing
it
for
don't
you.
really do nothing for me. But like,
Yeah. That's
That's
I
interesting.
think Sleepwalker's the only movie I seen a guy get stabbed with a corn on the cob. I will never forget that. He got stabbed with a corn on the cob.
yeah,
Sleepwalkers,
Sleepwalkers.
Stephen
Yeah,
King?
Yeah, it's like it was like
Wow.
SS cat people.
yeah. That was
like he
that's
seen
a
with his
crazy
mother. And they
movie.
was trying to get
Yeah.
younger and stuff.
Yeah, I remember
was out
that.
there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Scary.
Was those 3?
Yeah.
Okay, Landers, what you got?
I just want to discuss one, and that's
Okay.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Was
that the Trolls?
Yeah, that's the
That
one
was good.
because
Oh yeah.
I was 6 at the time and I knew nothing going in. We just went to go see it at the movie theater. And I'm like, this is the guy who saved Christmas. He escaped from jail. He went to summer camp. And I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a good movie. But then the troll came on the screen and it just ruined my life for like a whole year. I was terrified
Them
of that.
trolls was ugly.
Yeah,
They were.
it was it wasn't for 6-year-olds. It really didn't have an audience because it was too scary for kids and too dumb for adults. So,
That's real.
yeah,
That's real. That's a good one. I ain't
Dumb
think about
movie.
that. Lindsay, what you got?
So I say obvious number 1, the original It with Tim Curry.
Yeah, that was
1990.
Okay.
That movie made me afraid to walk upstairs and go in showers for several years after. Tales from the Hood, probably my number 2.
Let's go.
I could put many movies in the slot of number 3, but if I'm being honest, in terms of like what spent the most time scaring me as a kid, Unsolved Mysteries was like a terrifying show to me. I don't know
So
why,
okay.
but
Okay.
I can see
it was
that.
the voice. It was the narrator's voice.
The narrator's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Stack.
I just
Yeah.
throw America's Most Wanted on that joint.
Hey,
December 1st,
hey, Lance,
1973.
Lance, which one of the stories that Tales from the Hood actually got to you?
You know which one it was.
There's only
I
one.
mean, obviously, the tiny pygmy dolls is,
Right.
is probably number
Right.
one.
Yeah.
It's
Come
like
on now.
fucking scary dolls.
I remember
But
those.
also, even then, like the I want to say it was like the gangster that got put in jail and had to like watch flashbacks of all the people he
That
killed.
was-
That was
yeah, that was
really
But
dark.
watching that old
like a
grandmama come out
Polly
that
story.
picture,
Yeah.
that scares me
That's
today. Now that I
scary.
think about
Yeah.
it, she's just sitting there in the
Man.
rocking chair, looking crazy.
When he hit the picture and the blood started coming down,
that
I
was
was like,
that was some scary shit.
That was some good shit. That was
Man.
some good shit. All right,
That's what makes that just real quick. That's what makes that awful like really fucking shitty sequel to Tales from the Hood that came out like I don't know a year or two ago. That's what makes it even
That was
worse
terrible.
just because of the dimensions they could have explored. Instead of having it be like a gangster in jail facing the flashbacks of people he killed, maybe have it be like a white police officer that like shot an innocent black person who was running away, and him having to face the ghosts of other people. You know, so
And
instead
what
of
made
doing
that
something
worse
that would
is
have
that
been like
Rusty
interesting.
kind of directed that. They brought him back to make a sequel.
God
So that really
Didn't know
hurt.
that.
Yeah, he
Didn't
did
know
both
that.
of
That's
them.
awful.
Yeah.
All right, really quick. My three were Nightmare on Elm Street. When I was a shorty, I saw that one scene. I was sneaking around in the crib. Moms was watching it. And there was that scene where the girl was in the bathtub and you saw Freddie's hand come up. I didn't want to take a bath for years after that shit.
He didn't.
Yo,
He didn't.
Freddie
After
was
that,
just
he
trying to
didn't.
get some kitty, man.
He should have been taking showers anyway.
All right, my second one is a classic, but it's a cult classic. The Witches. Did y'all ever see that
Yeah,
short?
yeah,
It
of
wasn't
course.
even really meant to be
Of
a horror
course.
movie, but them women was scary as fuck and turned that
Yeah.
little boy into the
Ugly.
mouse. That shit had
And
me
the ending was
terrified.
terrible.
The ending was
funny.
fucking
Oh,
them.
man.
Yeah. So that fucked me up. And then my last one was Poltergeist, but part 2 with that creepy ass old white man.
Oh yeah.
That motherfucker scared the
Yeah.
shit out of
You
me.
thought that was more scary than the first
Yeah,
one?
that dude was
Yeah,
scary.
that
Yeah.
dude was
Yeah.
scary as fuck to me. I was always
That's
scared of
real.
old white folks, but
He
that
had
one.
wooden teeth.
I gotta go back and watch that. But
I do
yeah,
too.
I know. I remember that.
I
Trump
don't remember
partner
part
guy
two.
that looks just like him. Just out of curiosity, this dude named Mike Milken. If you look him up, I was gonna make more jokes about this, but it's gonna be fucked up. Turns out he has some kind of cancer, which is why his face is that
shit,
skinny.
okay.
But he looks like the dude from Poltergeist 2. Just throwing it out.
All right. Well, let's switch topics real quick. All right, we spent a lot of time on horror. Let's switch to another sneak peek that came out this week. We got a chance to see Robert Pattinson for the first time in the bat suit as the Dark Knight. How'd y'all feel about that reaction this week? the trailer, the sneak peek.
Man, that shit was dope.
Man,
It was dope.
Come on,
like
man.
the music
Bro.
that was
a
playing.
stealth
Bro.
trailer.
The way he was like, the way the camera was like zooming in on him when he like turned and stood.
Bro.
Like, yeah, that's me. You know, like that shit was dope, man.
Okay,
I don't
I
care,
thought it was
man.
dope.
I
that shit
agree.
was
I
dope.
agree with Jeff. That shit was fire. I was hyped watching. I watched that shit like 5 times, man.
Facts.
Okay, Nancy, what you think as the expert Batman? What you think, man?
I felt like it was a cell phone trailer. Like it was. I thought it was the reveal of like a new Nokia phone or some shit like that. It was like, oh yeah,
So
all right.
disrespectful.
Black angles,
What's a
strange
Nokia?
music, a red background. Is it? You know, it was a dark enough trailer that I thought it was directed by Zack Snyder. I didn't know what was going on, and I wasn't excited. I was like, okay, this could be a thing.
Fair enough, Sally.
Yeah, I won't say. I mean, the reveal of the costume that was cool. I liked the last version a lot more, like the Ben Affleck version costume.
Same.
I like the we got the little collar vibe going. I mean, it was cool. It was cute. I said it was cute.
Y'all so disrespectful.
I mean, but look,
Y'all so disrespectful.
look, I need a little bit more meat. That's all I'm saying.
Pause.
Right? So you stop. Need a little bit more to bite on to. It was cute, man. I can't say bite, man. Can't say meat. Can't say bite. Hey,
I mean, goddamn.
J Supreme.
Landers, how you feel about it?
As long as they don't give them nipples, like they gave. Was that George Clooney?
George
Val
Clooney,
Kilmer?
George
That was
Clooney.
George Clooney. They gave.
Wait, you don't get the pause.
he about to. He know he.
First thing you go to is nipples.
The costume had nipples. They got to get rid of that.
I'll say,
Yeah.
I'll just say this, man. I before there was even a Twitter reaction, I said when I first saw it, I thought the shit looked like a Daredevil trailer. I don't know if it was the crimson background, the color, or the fact that the suit looked like season 1 Daredevil to me. I just thought it looked like a ripoff of Daredevil. But now when they showed the second picture that came out, of them in the daylight, you know, and then you got to see the suit for the first time. Then I thought, damn, this suit looks like if Tony Stark created a bad suit for him, because it just looked like War Machine 2.0. But I will admit, though, I will admit I'm biased, because the last time I saw Robert Pattinson in a movie was fucking Twilight, and that shit was terrible. So I haven't been excited about this film since that, but I know some of you all have said he's done other films, more serious, that he's evolved as an actor, so I'm trying to give it a chance. But I really wasn't excited.
I mean, I haven't seen any of his other movies. I think, man, we was in the gym when they made that announcement that he was going to do it. Sale was telling me like he had some serious roles and he actually been doing pretty good. So like, I'm gonna give a kid a shot, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna give him a shot.
I mean, like, quality of the actor, he's there. Like, he can act. So that's not the issue. It's just like, can he embody the character? But like I said, you put him in a good, well-written Batman movie, I mean, everybody gonna fall in line. People's freaking out about Ben Affleck too, and he was.
That's really the challenge, yeah.
Yeah, he just gotta fit the bill, you know, like literally fit it too.
Yeah. And disclaimer, those words that Mike D just said about Twilight, Jen. I don't think Twilight is a bad movie.
Yeah, but
I don't want her coming at me.
But it's,
Two Twilight fans, okay.
But it's like
I'm not a fan, but
everybody gave up on dude after, because he was in the Twilight series. But some of the most quality actors come from those type of movies.
Yeah.
And they grow up and do some dope stuff.
I'll never forget. There was a scene in Twilight that I will never forget.
Name somebody else out of the Twilight.
I say those type of movies. Some of our best actors have come from some.
Okay, some of those. I understand what he's saying though. Like those type of
examples.
He's talking about like the Harry Potters of the world, like all of those like film
Daniel
series.
Hold on. Are you about to say he can't act or something?
No, what I'm saying is you saying some of the best actors come out of those movies, but what other movies have they like acting in that was like
Jennifer
great?
Lawrence, dope. You could
Hunger Games.
She not.
Hunger Games.
She not a
was
good
pretty
actress?
good.
As
Did you see Mother?
Mystique, she's trash.
Bro, you gonna bring up Mystique?
I'm just saying, bro.
All right, so
Like,
let's go for Denzel. What's that virtual reality movie with Russell Crowe? Virtuosity or
Virtuosity.
something? Yeah.
That
All
was
right.
good.
Oh man, he's a bad.
But
He's
Denzel
a
was like,
terrible
but
actor.
But
Denzel
how
was
can you compare
already.
Virtuosity to Twilight?
Yeah,
I don't even know what that
No,
movie
I'm
is.
saying he just brought up Mystique as a reference. Yeah, the
just
X-Men
saying.
movies wasn't good, but quality acting.
So you
she
said
consistent.
was
She
Hunger
good.
Games a good movie or was it because of Jennifer Lawrence?
No, Hunger Games was just a decent.
It's a
series.
decent movie,
But
yeah.
I'm saying those type of like teen drama, fantasy.
He's talking like
type movies.
Insurgent and stuff like that.
They got quality actors in there. They grow up into their craft. That's what I'm saying. So Robert Pattinson didn't get a fair shake because he was in Twilight,
Right.
but he produced quality work after.
Okay.
But all we can see him as is Twilight.
That's
right.
all
That's
I'll
what I'm
ever
saying.
see.
No, I got you.
All right.
I
Well,
get what you're saying.
well, we'll see. We'll see when the Batman comes out.
Real quick, I think the biggest tragedy of this that we're overlooking, guys, is that this is just another example of an Englishman taking all the good American jobs. We got Daniel Kaluuya taking all the good Black American jobs. Now we got Robert Pattinson from England trying to play an American Batman. I don't know how I feel about it.
Isn't
We'll see.
Christian Bale? Christian Bale is English, right? He not.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I know it's been happening for years, guys. That's what I'm saying. We gotta wake up.
All right, y'all. Let's switch
Stay
topics.
woke. Stay
Let's
woke.
switch to another topic. Let's talk about a movie that came out for the culture recently, The Photograph. For those of us in the room who have seen it, who got dragged out to see that romantic movie with your significant other, how did y'all feel about the movie?
I enjoyed it, man. It's just good to see black love on the big screen, man. You know,
facts.
you don't see that enough anymore, you know. And the story was kind of like, I was kind of confused of what was happening, like what the guy was actually writing a story about. But just seeing them act together and seeing them like, you know, in love and just having that great conversation, like I enjoyed it for that most part. You know?
Okay, Landis, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good seeing Issa's range, and she's grown as an actress. So
She has.
I enjoyed it. It was like you said, two dark skinned people in love on the screen with no police, no violence, no toxic. So I liked it for that.
Cool.
It was a really
Lindsay?
good movie.
I thought it was balanced. Like I thought it was. I guess when I went in, I was expecting it to be like a romantic comedy or something like that. And so going into it had middling expectations, but the actual the film overall was solid. The way that they set up the backstory was great. The guy from Insecure who played Daniel, I forget his name, but he did just a fantastic job.
No. He's about the guy from the past, the big dark
Oh,
skin.
I can't think of his name. Yeah,
he's a good actor.
He is a great actor.
He
is a
He
great
should
actor.
get more roles. I hope
I
he get more roles.
thought they was making him the next new action hero.
Like
He
Wesley
could play
Snipes.
Wolverine.
Yeah, sure.
That dude could play Wolverine. I swear to God.
I swear he can, because he snapped on
He
the
killed
purge,
him in The
dude.
That dude is amazing.
Yeah.
What's his name? You know his name?
don't
Can
know
we get
his
a
name.
YouTube, Google search or something? Anybody?
I'll look it up.
Ain't none of us got computers.
We got phones.
I thought
Got a whole screen.
Lil Rel, especially in the photograph, just in terms of it having a balanced comedic element. His character was genius. All
Chicago's
his
very
his jokes
own.
were hitting. It
And
was
you could
great.
tell a lot of that was ad lib. A lot of his
Yeah.
material.
Yeah, Lil Rel is. I mean, he hilarious to me. I support him
Yeah.
as a Chicago homie.
I can't pronounce it.
Can't pronounce what?
His name.
Oh, I found it too. Yeah, why don't you try it?
Elan Noel? No? Elan Noel?
Yep, Elan Noel. That's
Sorry
what
if I'm butchering it, man.
I hope you don't listen to this.
Man.
Shout out to that brother.
Yeah.
Yo, no, he did his thing.
Purge, he don't play.
But
Get
I
him in
gotta
the Marvel
say,
universe somehow.
but
He needs to.
to be. But I gotta say real quick, I brought up Lakeith Stanfield. I really think that brother is on his way up in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like he nails every single role that I've seen him in. Whether ATL was when I saw Atlanta was where I saw him first. But I don't know if y'all saw Sorry to Bother You.
I didn't like it.
no.
It was a weird
saw it.
movie, but
Did not like it.
it was a weird
Did
movie,
not
but
like
he
that.
he killed it playing a
Killed it.
quirky
Killed it.
role, and then Knives Out recently. I don't know if you all
saw
saw
that.
that.
Yeah, that was good.
He was a detective
Also
in that.
killed it.
Bro, he has not had a bad role yet to me. Like that dude has so much versatility. I think he's gonna be one of the next top Hollywood actors.
I agree.
He was pretty good in that Martin Luther King movie that came out not too long ago. He had a small role as the guy that got killed. Yeah, he was in Selma. He had a pretty good role.
Oh,
in that,
wow.
too.
I gotta
Yeah, he
rewatch
was in
that.
I mean, he's been in everything. He was
he's
even
a
in
good
Death
actor.
Note.
Great actor.
He was in Death Note on Netflix.
Damn,
Oh,
he sure was.
in Death Note. That was good.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he take a lot of different parts. Like he was in a romantic comedy with old girl from Jane the Virgin. Was that? Yeah.
never seen that.
It's on Netflix, man. Respect his filmography, man. Y'all over here talking about
Yep.
check all his stuff out.
Talk about Lakeith Stanfield. We support you, brother. All right, let's switch gears now in the TV shows. We're in a moment right now where there isn't like a universally watched show like Game of Thrones that the whole world is watching. So we're gonna switch it up a little bit this week and just ask: is there a dope ass show that you're currently watching that you think fellow Blerds ought to check out?
The Outsider?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's a good one. That shit's scary as hell. HBO.
Yeah.
What's my girl name that's in that? I might have to look up her name too. The black woman that's playing like that.
She played Harriet
Cynthia
Tubman.
Erivo.
The one to play Harriet
Cynthia
Tubman.
Ervo. She is amazing,
Yeah,
yo.
she's a really good
Like,
actress.
yo, and
And
that,
she's also from overseas. She's not
Is she?
American. Yeah, she's not American at all.
Wow.
oh, I didn't know
She's
that.
from overseas.
That's a good one though.
Taking
All right.
all that chips.
I try to hit it from a couple of fronts. For anime, Attack on Titan is
Is the new season out?
nah, just the manga's updating. They trying to
Okay.
catch up. But Attack on Titan, I would say, is like it's just different.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
agree.
nothing. It don't go by like the Dragon Ball, Naruto
No.
type of. It's like so different.
It's
And
real.
The story is like rich, and it's mystery to it.
Man.
It's a dope anime. If you gave up on Arrow,
Which I
which
did.
some people did, the last season of Arrow
Yeah.
was almost perfect to me. And the crossover joint,
Yeah.
like they did it on a TV level similar to what Marvel, did. They just connected everything. And, Black Lightning now is in that universe. They got their shared table and all this. Like, so the DC crossover and the last season of Arrow, like they ended the series in the best way possible to me. And then Hunters.
Oh man, Hunters.
I like the way they tie it to history, but like the opening scenes, like they bring you in with some horrific scenes.
Yeah.
But they don't shy away from how,
How it was.
how it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
And I think Hunters blends a lot of stuff that Blerds will like. It's not realistic.
They got a lot of black
in that
actors
sense.
and actresses in that.
And it's real rounded. It's a diverse
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
Dope. And Al Pacino not even the dopest person on there.
He's
like-
not, but
I mean, like,
Isn't Jordan Peele producing this?
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, really?
I like the dude Logan, the young cat.
Yeah,
like
he's good.
Yeah,
he's
quality,
solid.
quality.
But can we just say really quick about Al Pacino? That is the only. He's one of the few actors that can be a Jewish guy in Hunters. He could be an Irishman on Netflix, and he could be an Italian mob boss. He could be and you believe every single nationality. Like I was watching Hunters, like damn, man, what is his nationality? Because he can nail all of them.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Chino disrespectful, but I'm just playing. now, Lindsay, that's what you should get mad about. He taking all the roles.
He played Puerto Rican too in Carlito's Way. I said,
Sure did.
He's
Sure
done it all.
did. Another one.
Oh, now that I think about
And
it.
nobody
done them
raised a
all.
fuss about Al Pacino.
Done them
Not
all.
That's
Yeah, shout out.
versatility.
He is the
man.
Sam Jackson of white people.
Shout out to Al Pacino.
Did he play Kunta in the remake?
Kunta, Toby, Lindsay, since you talking, what are some shows you got?
So my number one for anime right now would probably be Knights of Sidonia. Like I was looking for something kind of Gundam adjacent. So there's another show with giant robots on Netflix called Knights of Sidonia. If you hear a barking dog, don't even worry about that. There's just ghosts that live in my house that sound like dogs that bark occasionally.
Yeah, check that out.
Outside of that, I would say if anybody who's listening has not already seen Snowfall, like Snowfall is probably one of the greatest shows that's on television at the moment.
Agreed.
I don't know how many people will agree with me or who have seen it on this podcast besides my brother, but like really, this might not be a nerd show, but if you're not watching This Is Us, you probably need to check out This Is
One
Us.
of the strongest black families on TV.
That's right. Talk
Yes,
on it.
This Is Us?
Yes,
Talk on
exactly.
it.
Speaking on it.
I fell off on This Is Us, man.
It's good.
Like, after I found out how Jack died, I was like, all right, that's all I need to know.
You checked out after that.
Bro, but they did a time skip forward too, though.
The killing
I heard.
crock pot. The killing crock pot.
It was just too many like tear jerkers, man. Like
Yeah.
he just kept like, and they was like playing too much with his death. Like I thought he died in an accident because he was drinking and driving. Like,
they played on that for a while.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, just tell us already. But one of the most emotional scenes for me was when old boy father passed in the hospital.
Oh
Yeah, that was a tearjerker.
The last one of the recent episodes. I guess I shouldn't spoil it, but like,
No, don't spoil it.
Jeff, like I'm gonna go back and watch it, y'all.
but they always find a way to connect lessons from the past
Facts.
to present.
Yeah.
And now that they tying it to like outcomes of your current decisions to your future life, it's a well-rounded show.
Yeah.
It's one of the best shows.
It is. Randall continues to put out great performances every time he's on, and I'll say his wife too.
Dope.
I gotta say though, the episode that had me in tears was the episode when he took his father on that drive. Y'all remember? Well, those of you who watched the show, that had me in tears, bro. Like he was driving with his father. His father was terminal. That episode was super emotional. They took this long trip, get a little background on his father's upbringing, and then came back. So anyway, shout out to This Is Us. Landers, what you got?
I had Alex's.
All
I
of
agree with Alex. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the only shows right now that haven't been mentioned that I'm watching, if you haven't checked out Altered Carbon 2, season 2 just dropped this weekend. I highly suggest folks watch this show. Anthony Mackie takes on this role, and I was a little skeptical at first about seeing Anthony Mackie in like a sci-fi kick-ass role, because the first scene is a lot of martial arts scenes in that. Like the main character Takashi is like this badass assassin. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about Anthony Mackie taking on that role, because not to give too much away, but basically the premise of the show is that you can take your consciousness and put it into different sleeves or bodies. So like the first season, it was a white guy playing this role. And now this season, the same character is now being played by Anthony Mackie. And when I tell y'all I'm only about 4 episodes in, I can honestly say this brother has come a long way. Like a lot of those kick-ass martial arts scenes, he's nailing. It gives me a lot more optimism to see him as a future Captain America. A lot more.
Y'all be disrespectful to Anthony Mackie,
Disrespectful.
I like Papa Doc, man.
Clarence.
Papa Doc lost, man.
All right, we gotta switch topics
Free
now.
world, man.
We gotta switch topics, y'all, to talk about music for a second. There's been a debate happening recently about the categorization of music. You all know, like historically within rock, for instance, there
Yeah,
are
soul music.
subcategories of rock. It's like hard rock, alternative. And when you talk about hip hop, at least, there hasn't really been a conversation about hip hop as having subcategories. So a lot of the shit that we hearing today, you hear the term hip hop thrown out for certain artists, and you like, is that really hip hop? So since we got an artist in the room today, Tobias Black, why don't you talk to us a little bit how you feel about this debate?
All right, so I just kick it off like, what's the 4 elements of hip hop?
I don't know.
What got hip hop started?
Popcorn.
I know what they are.
Chicken.
Break dancing,
Okay.
Gold
Graffiti.
chain.
graffiti, spoken
New York
word
City.
rapping,
MCing,
and the last
DJing,
one is
right?
DJing.
Yeah.
So with that, you know what I'm saying? I look at
He
hip
was a
hop.
pop quiz.
No, I'm just.
I wanted my credit for my ass. Like I just said, DJ.
Pop quiz, pop quiz.
But I just think, you know what I'm saying, those the 4 elements of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is categorized as hip hop, man. When you see, look on the news, you know what I'm saying, somebody passed away, got murked or something like that. They always say, and it's a black guy, local hip hop artist, you know, passed away from gun violence and all this stuff, but he rapping like somebody like 6ix9ine. You know what I'm saying? And 6ix9ine to me is not a hip hop artist. He could be categorized under it, but I wouldn't call him hip hop. I would call him like pop rap. You know what I'm saying? Rock, like Mike said,
bitch.
rock got different subcategories. Even jazz got different subcategories. But when we go to like I'm not into the award shows and all that stuff. I really don't care about them. But when you go into the award shows, it's either hip hop or rap. It's not giving a fair chance for other people who does like different types of genres in the music, like T.I. and Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? They both make great music. They make trap music. Why not have a category for trap music? You know what I'm saying? So they could shine. Bling, bling, bling music. You know what I'm saying? Like Cash Money and No Limit and all them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them make good music. Yeah, some of them make good music. Why not have a category for them? Why are they lumping them into hip hop and rap? You know what I'm saying?
You have a problem with that.
Yeah.
So what would be the categories then? You said trap music.
Trap. You got trap.
Okay.
Bling music.
Do people still make bling music?
Like stunt, you mean
Like stunt and bling.
music?
Some people do, yeah.
But
Cause Conscious, you got your Common, you got your Tyler Most, Royce. You got your boom bap artists, you know what I'm saying? You got your Black Thoughts, KRS, people like that. You got your pop rap, you got Drake, you know what I'm saying? People like The Baby and all these other, you know, artists that's out there. And I'm not trying to diss them, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, give them a category. Don't just lump them, because they get mad. They get mad when you call them hip hop. They'll call us old heads. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't hip hop. Y'all old heads. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is old heads. So they kind of diss us too. So it's like I get arguments on Facebook that they don't want to be called hip hop, but when you say they not hip hop, they get upset. So give them a category.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
This quick question for like clarity. So with like rock music, right? Do they get recognized and sub? I mean, because we know what type of rock it is, right? Like alternative, you got heavy metal and stuff like that. But is that broken down like during award season in that way?
I believe it is.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because like even to your points, I do think it needs to be like some form of like classification, right? But I'm not sure.
But we do that. I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah.
But like we do that like subconsciously.
Yeah.
So so to say like hip hop don't have,
it evolves.
you know, categories. I think we do have categories, like, because you have like the gangster rap, you got the conscious rap, like you have all those different types of rap that you name. Like it may not be like on an award show, like, you know, best trap album or best conscious album like that. So I think we already have them type of categories.
And what do we do for people that express different versions of like hip hop delivery within the album? You get what I'm saying? Like some people like very, like I would say, I don't want to bring Drake up, but Drake do like a lot of different variations within his music.
For sure.
Even listen to some Lupe stuff on the low.
Yeah.
Like
he throwing some rock.
Yeah, he throw a lot of variations in too. I think the frustration is because it is so it comes off kind of vague sometimes. Like we struggle to classify it, but also get credit through the classifications, because sometimes the classification, they do take it as a diss when it's just the culture of rap and hip hop. It's evolved.
I mean, I haven't seen anybody be offended by being called a hip hop artist. I've seen
Tyler
people
Creator just had a whole dig about
he did.
that. Yeah,
he don't want to be considered a hip hop artist.
He said his last album wasn't a hip hop.
What was it?
I think he said it was like more pop music than anything.
And then so then
rap album of the year.
Yeah, he was upset about it.
So I mean, you're not gonna please everybody, but then I guess maybe you should ask the artists what they consider themselves before we like put them in a category, because we may think like, oh, this is pop, but he like, nah, it ain't pop.
His album was really good, but it wasn't a rap album. It wasn't
rap
even hip hop.
album,
It wasn't any kind of. It was more like it was melodic, and he sang through the whole album.
So maybe so that's a good argument for the categorization. You know,
Spotify accidentally did it when they did the yearly roundup. They had like pop, rap, and they had like some other categories, and then something happened where somebody big had complained about it or something, and Spotify like in a couple days like took it down and just put it as a category as hip hop and rap again. But I just think, you know, and I'm not dissing nobody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody get your money, you know what I'm saying? Make the music you like, you know, but if you're gonna represent hip hop, represent it the way it was brought up and the way it was started, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm for the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop is
What do you mean by that? Because you just said there's different categories, right? So then how can they represent a different category if that's not how they?
I mean, like so. You know I mean,
if I'm making trap music, but you want me to represent hip hop, but I'm not considering myself hip hop. So how do you want me to represent hip hop?
I mean, if you represent hip hop by doing your trap music, so I'm considering you as a trap artist. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you to get your shine. I don't want nobody to come to you like, man, you ain't hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be like, I'm a trap artist. I ain't hip hop. I'm trap. So if I got that mindset focus today, I'm gonna listen to some trap, and I get your album. I'm vibing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at you like a straight hip hop artist that, you know what I'm saying, that's coming with that, you know, boom bap style with the DJ and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's just my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop was built off the 4 pillars. You know what I'm saying? The DJ. Like, how many of these new artists you see even when they do like concerts, shout out they DJ? You know what I'm saying? They don't. The DJ is non-existent.
Wayne did it.
But Wayne still, he back from what, the 2000s? You know what I'm saying? So I could consider Wayne
a part of hip hop.
A part of hip hop, because he knows. You know what I'm saying? Like especially in his mixtape days, he knows. Yeah.
Well, you know. Yeah, Wayne could be considered an MC though. He's an MC.
You consider him an MC?
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, just
no, you don't do you? I see it in your face. Wayne not an MC.
I'm on the fence with Wayne. I like Wayne. Wayne dope to me.
No, no, you don't.
I consider. like
him for real.
No. I like Wayne. Wayne dope to me, but he ain't my go-to. He ain't somebody I go look for. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, not at this point in his career. He kind of washed up.
Even back then, I ain't really look for Wayne like that.
Really,
though.
in 2008, when he was the greatest rapper alive,
he wasn't the greatest rapper to me.
He was in 2008.
Nah.
I'm cool with the variation in the culture. I feel like it's like a testament to just the culture evolving. Yeah, okay. But it's the same thing. 4 Pillars was based on what they represented at the time, right? So the new generation is talking about what represents them at the time. So do we classify them for something different because they are going about it a different way?
Yes.
Okay. Alex has spoken. Look, they be deep in my eyes. No. Yes. You classify them as something different. Let's not get it confused.
If you ask them, they don't. I'm telling you, they don't want to be called hip hop. I guarantee you. If you look at like,
I'm gonna push back a little bit because I don't. I mean, you gotta send me some later on. Somebody saying like, "Don't call me hip hop." Besides Tyler, the Creator,
because he's weird.
What's his name? The dude. The dude that be saying he rap better than Pac and Biggie. He be trolling. What's his name? The Uzi Verts and what's the other dude?
Uzi.
What's the other dude? Dang, what's the other dude?
The one with the bag.
Oh, he's about Kodak.
Kodak. He be saying that stuff like, "Don't call me hip hop. Don't call me hip hop."
I'm like outliers though.
Yeah, Kodak's.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't hearing J. Cole or Kendrick or you're not hearing like Drake. You're not hearing the big artists saying like I'm not hip hop. Drake probably will smack you if you tell him he ain't hip hop.
He not hip hop.
Oh, all right, let's go to the next subject.
Like getting hit with a feather pillow.
Drake not hip hop.
Drake is pop.
We're not
I
starting.
already know how this about to go.
Come on.
We do not want to go inside.
Let's go to the next.
So we're gonna switch topics to talk about comics really quick because there have been rumors, and they're just rumors at this point, that DC and Marvel may be courting each other as a potential merger. Originally, I called bullshit on this, but lately there have been some things happening within the industry that are leading me to think that there might be some weight to this shit. So we're gonna actually start by talking about what's going on in the comics. Then we'll lead into some of the recent news that's been coming out. So DC recently has a event going on, just wrapped, called Doomsday Clock. All right, and in that they've been sort of putting together Dr. Manhattan and Watchmen and the DC universe. And he, without spoiling too much, he set the universe's timelines right in the last issue. Now, this is coming off the back of DC has some recent failures, the New 52 and then Convergence and then DC Rebirth. DC Publishing has been in a really rough situation lately because of all of the changes to his timeline. So basically, Dr. Manhattan sets the timeline right. But there's something that happens on a panel in number 12. We actually have it here in the studio. So you want to read what Dr. Manhattan says in the year 2030?
Sure. On July 10th, 2030, the Secret Crisis begins, throwing Superman into a brawl across the universe with Thor himself and a green behemoth stronger than even Doomsday, who dies protecting Superman from these invaders. In its wake, Superman's timeline shifts forward again.
All right, so that's DC. All right, so now they called Thor's name out specifically, and the Green Behemoth, you can only imagine they're talking about Hulk, okay? So now that's the DC comic throwing out some shit about Marvel. Now, Marvel responded recently with Thor #2. Now, Thor is going through a relaunch. They got a writer, one of the hottest writers in comics right now, Donny Cates, writing for Thor. Thor is now the Herald of Galactus. It's an amazing ass series. But in the second issue, there's a reference that you see in the I think it's like the third or fourth page, where Thor is basically describing a universe as gods. And he says there's a sun god in this universe, an emerald god, a god of dark, a god of speed, a god of ocean, and of strength. And in each one of those characterizations, you actually see like a line that they draw with the colors of the Justice League. So when he says like a god of emerald, it's the color of Green Lantern. When he says a god of sun, it's Superman colors, you know. And so each one of the characters' colors now are seen as a streak on that panel in Thor #2. So now that's Marvel shouting out DC. Now, recently, one of the fans of the show, Mosho on Facebook, mentioned that Dan DiDio, co-publisher of DC Comics, just announced this week that he's resigning. Now, this is coming off of a heavy topic that's been circulating around DC Publishing, because they're actually thinking about taking comics and just going digital, because they've had so many, mess ups. They got so many storylines out there. They may just take it out of stores completely and go online with it. Also happening in the news, AT&T, the parent company of Warner Brothers, is apparently, these are just rumors, but they're talking about whether or not Warner Brothers wants to keep the rights to the DC cinematic universe, especially after what just happened with Birds of Prey. I mean, Joker was a box office hit for them, but if you look at it overall, how successful has the cinematic universe been for Warner Brothers? Warner Brothers wouldn't want to give up the rights, but would AT&T take a big enough check to give that over to Disney, who Disney, by the way, just recently had their CEO, Bob Iger, step down. So whoever takes on that new role as CEO for Disney might be looking at ways to consolidate and bring on new properties like DC. So all of that being said, let's just talk about them as rumors, because that's all the shit is right now. How would y'all feel if that shit happened?
That's a lot, man. That's a lot to unpack.
So on the comic side of things, I think they were already planning on doing a crossover with the two companies, right? Like it's coordinated. It was a month apart. Like, so Doomsday Clock ends, they bring up Thor and pretty much the Hulk, right? Even says how the Hulk saves Superman in some way, shape, or form. And then a month later, they do Thor. Like exactly a month later, Thor referenced them. So the way they do comic books, this been probably planned for a year and a half because it took them almost 2 years to put this out, right? And so for Thor, that dude then created probably his first 12 books, you know what I mean, some time ago. So I think they're already planning a crossover event between DC and Marvel. Now, a merger, if these characters for DC are in jeopardy of being canceled or limited in some way, I'm all for a merger because you got to protect the integrity of like these characters. These characters are significant, right? You got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, so many characters. But merging the, like putting them in the same universe or something like that, I think that'd be whack. Yeah, I just think it's too much. I think it's overkill. I think bringing them over to Marvel, Disney overseeing DC in some way, it gives us more quality output. But merging them two together, I'm completely against Batman and Captain America being in the same universe.
I don't think they could. I don't think that they could merge them because of the fact that Marvel takes place in real U.S. cities. Like, I mean, like Spider-Man is in New York, and you know, like they have like real U.S. cities, whereas DC has fictional Gotham City and Metropolis, places that don't exist. So I think it would be hard for them to try and merge them into one universe because something's got to give. New York and real U.S. cities aren't mentioned in DC. And then you know, Marvel, they don't have a Gotham City or a Metropolis, so I don't know that they could. You think?
I mean, they can. They can do anything. You can make it work. You can make whatever work.
Kind of damn multiverse.
Yeah, but like, like I just like I agree with you, Sal. Like if they gonna, if Marvel is gonna take over these DC to like save them but still keep them separate, like I'm all for it. But like if they're gonna like take over and then like throw them into the universe, like like then like how do you structure the power levels? Like who's stronger than who whoop who ass? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to see Batman and Captain America on the same screen. Like I need to see them separate.
Batman wins.
Batman wins every time.
But Cap don't get tired. So then it's like
facts.
But I'm with you, Sal. But I like the crossover idea though. The crossover I think would be dope. Yeah. Especially with the way like he said he called a sun god, an emerald god, a god of dark, a god of speed. Like that wording is dope.
Yes, it is.
I might have to go pick those up, man, because I haven't read any comics in a while.
Definitely check it out, especially Thor #2. Dope ass comic.
Nah, they just crossing it over just for this specific story.
Yeah, I mean they done it in the past. I think like twice already, 2 or 3 times. DC and
many
Marvel.
times,
a while ago. Though. It's been a minute.
Then they'll do like mini crossovers too. Where you see Spider-Man and Batman. So like the collaboration is always there, and to be honest, the companies benefit off of each other. It builds up the culture, right? That's what I was saying. If they do take over, like Disney takes over, buys them out, if they could put out more quality even for on the movie front,
for sure,
man, it's over. Like the culture, it could go on for 20 more years and probably not get any fatigue. And that's been my concern about comic book movies, period. Like how can you not? That's why Marvel slowed down. Like right after they was done with that last phase, like let me pull it back more. No more big movies. Let's wait a few years. So it's for the culture. So
absolutely
take over.
All right,
if needed.
Let's switch gears now from comics and talk about some video game news. So all of us who were original fans of Resident Evil have been excited this week. We got a first look trailer at the Resident Evil 3 remake. We're going to watch it here live and then come back with our live reactions after.
I've never seen anything like it. I haven't been able to sleep this week.
You gotta stay strong. Don't give in to fear out there, right?
How did this
All right,
happen?
calm down, buddy. Calm down.
Send reinforcements. No! Wait! Hurry up! Okay. Help me!
could this many people be infected?
This city is completely cut off, isolated.
Don't look at me like that, all right? I'm not infected.
But right now it's got a hard-on for the only 2 stars left in town.
They don't need a bleeding heart like you getting in the way.
Star's office has to be in this direction.
Gets worse every night.
They don't want the world to know what they've done.
Oh, my head.
What's wrong with Umbrella?
Get in!
I can't stop them all.
You gotta get out of there.
You guys are the ones who caused all of this.
No, wait!
Oh, come on.
We've got to be dreaming.
Commitment, honesty, integrity, these are the core values that create the foundation for Umbrella Corp.
For the players.
All right, we just got done watching the remake trailer for Resident Evil 3, coming at you live with the reactions. Landers, how did you feel about it, brother?
Well, I've been sold for weeks now. I've already pre-ordered it. What makes it exciting? Yeah, I pre-ordered it. What makes it exciting is actually a prequel to the second game. So they're gonna explain like how Raccoon City got like that a lot in this game. It's gonna show how like the police station got like that from the second game. So it's really gonna expand on the second one. And I'm excited for it. And plus the updating graphics and
Yes.
I'm excited.
That looks dope. Alex, how you feel about it?
I'm the same way, Landis, man. I pre-ordered it too, paid in full. I'm excited for it, man, because Resident Evil 3 was dope to me because of the Nemesis, right? I wish that trailer would have showed more of him, you know, of the preview I saw of the other trailer. Yeah. But I'm just excited about how they made Nemesis untethered, you know, meaning wherever you at in the game, he could just pop up anywhere. And he could grab weapons, and he got weapons to where he, like, if you run away from him, he could draw you back to him. God, you know what I'm saying? I just love that survival horror instinct to the game. You know, so that's gonna be dope.
Damn, he sound hard as fuck. I mean, I played 2. What's the villain's name in 2?
Mr. X.
That's Mr. X. Tyrant. Yeah, Mr.
Tyrant.
X. Yeah.
I thought he was hard as shit. So this dude's gonna be tougher than him.
Yeah. This guy could just pop up anywhere you at in the game.
Yeah, if you stay in the room too long, he'll just bust through the wall or something. You can't just.
Damn. I don't know if I'm gonna beat this one. Lindsay, how'd you feel about the trailer?
I shit my pants twice, so I feel like it was effective marketing. So I had to put myself on mute, go get some new pants. But I thought it was a great trailer. I have not played the Resident Evil 2 remake, but I pre-ordered this Resident Evil 3 remake because I knew that, you know, like when I played Resident Evil 3 way back in the day, Nemesis was the scarier fucking main villain character. So I'm psyched to see what they do with it.
Yeah, and I never beat 3. I got to be honest. I played 3, and I had a cousin spoil the ending for 3, so I saw what happens at the end of it, and I never wanted to go back and play it. But I'm excited. I'm gonna pre-order it eventually. It's hard for me to pre-order a game since Anthem, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on that.
You were so sure.
I was.
This is gonna be a hit.
Oh, they're revamping the game finally, guys. They're gonna be adding some new shits.
I heard about that. I was thinking about purchasing it. They were
purchasing Anthem?
Absolutely. They said they're going to, revamp it and actually finish it. So.
Let's see what they do first and see how it reviews, because I don't know if they can do that.
It was never finished.
Give me something new.
Wait, so you bought a game that wasn't finished?
Oh, you don't know the story of Anthem?
Nah, bro.
Shit, how much time we got? That's a whole other podcast on that shit.
One day about what happened
they released the game with a whole bunch of hype, and then it came out and told us that the game wasn't finished. So a lot of people were fooled.
I know it was bad when me, Mike, and Jeff was playing the beta, and we beat a boss in the game, didn't know what to do, so it just turned off. Just straight stop. Yeah. What the hell happened?
Hey, you remember that time we
like, what y'all doing?
Hey, no, you remember that time we was playing and like we beat this horror boss, and like he dropped all those rewards, and then it like cut off on us.
That's the one.
Yeah, like we couldn't go back. It cut off on us. Like it took us like 30, 40 minutes to beat this dude.
We felt so satisfied after that shit, and then it just cut off.
Like, what the fuck?
They didn't know what to do.
And he dropped so many rewards.
But the thing is, they fooled us with the beta because they were like, "Oh, this is not going to happen on launch. We already know, like it's a server issue. We're aware of it. You know, when a game launches, you're gonna." And then the game launched, and it was even fucking worse.
Yeah, it could have been great though. It had a lot of great elements to it. But
it had worse servers than 2K. I didn't know it was possible.
That shit was terrible. So I hope they do it better, you know. But I've already paid for the game, so if they revamp it, I will be able to test it out and see. But I don't have any faith or confidence at this point. I just think EA needs to call it and start working on some new shit.
If they did it the way they did Battlefront 2, then.
Yeah, that's true. Because I did go back
you
out
gotta
and
wait
get
a year for it to get good.
It's been a year.
It's been 2 years, haven't it?
It's been
a year. It's been a year.
I mean, from
Battlefront 2 when it first launched.
From Anthem though, how long is when it?
Anthem's only been a year.
Yeah,
but still, they took about 2 years to get Battlefront 2 ready. So we'll see. All right, let's wrap. All right, we got an exciting giveaway as we wrap the show that we wanted to talk about for all of our listeners out there following us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and all of our fans following us on Instagram and Facebook at Blurs the Word. We have an exciting giveaway for you all to announce. So we attended the C2E2 event here in Chicago, our Comic-Con. It was dope as hell. So many black artists and writers and cosplayers that were out representing this weekend. But I looked at the list of celebrities that were joining this year, and I saw Jason David Frank, aka Tommy, aka the Green Ranger, was gonna be in the building. So I looked for some artwork, and there's an artist named Aaron Lambert. Please check him out, aaronlambert.com. This man has some amazing shit. So he did an art piece that has the Green Ranger with the Dragon Zord behind him, right? So at first I picked that shit up, and I'm like, all right, that's gonna be what I get Tommy to sign. Now I stood in line for Tommy's autograph, and when you get up to the front, they ask you, do you want his autograph or you want autograph and a picture? And I thought about that shit, and I'm like, you know what? I'm here for Blurs. All I need is the autograph. Plus, my money was a little short because I'm not and bought up half of the damn conference. So we go up there. He's signing it for me, and I just told him, hey, man, just so you know, I'm the host of a podcast called Blurs the Word about black nerd shit. And I just got to say, we love the Black Ranger. Zach is the homie, right? But I got to tell you, black folks fucking love the Green Ranger. And he started cracking up, and he's like, yo, that's amazing. He said, you mind if we do a quick video for the podcast? And I'm like, fuck, are you serious? Like, of course I would, right? So he's like, okay, get your phone ready. Let's do a quick promo for it. And I'm thinking he's gonna charge me. He's like, no, don't worry about it. Just let's record it real quick. So they grabbed my phone, and you all can check it out at Instagram at Blurs the Word. We did it on our story. So I announced the podcast. I say I'm here with the Green Ranger, and he does It's Morphin' Son right in the fucking camera. It was top moments of my life, right? So I had that experience, and he signs this commission piece of artwork with the hashtag Blurs the Word, y'all.
Dope.
Check this shit out. I don't want to give this shit up. I'm gonna be honest. We talked about it here on the show. We've debated it, but we really want to reward those of you who are listening to us, those of you who are following us, because you are the reason why we are doing this. We're so excited about the love that you all have shared. So here's the contest. All we're asking you to do is go to either Facebook and Instagram, tag our page at Blurs the Word, and answer the question, what type of blurred are you? That could be anything. It could be a picture, it could be a phrase, it could be a joke, whatever the hell it represents for you. Just answer the question, what type of blurred are you? Mention us at Blurs the Word and use the hashtag Blurs the Word. You do that, we're going to look at all the submissions, and then we're going to pick on the next show the winner of this piece of art. Now, if you don't happen to win this, we actually have two other pieces that we're going to give away as well by an artist named Ashley Woods. If you all have not checked her out, black woman from the south side of Chicago. She's also on our Instagram story. She's done work with Marvel. She's done her own book called Niobe. She is just an amazing artist. She gave us two pieces. We got a Blade cover that she did for Marvel. And we got this Foxy Brown looking sister that she gave us signed as well. So we're going to give those away on the show. If you want, again, just go to our Facebook and Instagram pages at us answering the question, what type of blurred are you? That being said, folks, we are getting ready to wrap. We want to thank all of our listeners, followers. Thank you so much for the support. I got to thank my crew in the room, the friends of the show. Thanks for being here for the second episode.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
get ready to wrap. Catch you on the next one. Blerds the word.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Okay. Thank you.
I've lost reality, haven't gotten a grip yet. Form a duo that's about to blow like Syntax. The result of two dope minds that intersect. Black Maverick.
Right?